I don't want to take off the subject of Bonnie. Lisa has had a question, and she's been pressing really hard. And Lisa is one of those.
Well, throw it up here.
I'm going to. I just want to give a little context because Lisa does not give up. Okay, she sends emails. I say, yeah, we're trying to get to it. David's been busy with Bonnie. I apologize. He can't take any calls right now.
Do you know what I love? I love people that don't give up.
Yeah,
that's what I love.
That's what it takes. So Lisa has some questions. And her question is, I have a question about the IRS. We sent out our affidavit of truth and the 1040X back 7 years. We are asking for a hearing and want to know if we should request our master file or if you have any wisdom on how to proceed.
Yes, I do. But their rules usually are you go back 3 years, then you can go back 10, then you can go back to the very beginning. Okay, so it's 310 beginning. Now, ask for your master file? Absolutely, I would ask for a master file. Whether you get it or not, I don't know. I usually, and I don't know what was in your affidavit of truth. Hopefully, most of the questions that I typically ask the IRS, which makes them realize you're not a U.S. citizen. You're not one who's a taxpayer. You're not a resident. You're not a person, that you're living, that you have rebutted the presumption of death, that you declared yourself in full life, and so on and so forth. Hopefully all those elements are in there. All those things are important. It sounds to me like you did a great job. I don't know, how long ago did you mail that to them? They're slow as crap. If they get back to you in 6 months, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I think Lisa they did get back to her and they sent her registered mail. So they're, wanting to move forward with something. Lisa, if there's any more context you want to type in and add to the comments, we'd be happy to have David.
Absolutely. I'd like to know what was in that registered mail. See?
Yeah.
It's hard to answer some questions without having all the facts, and I don't like to do that.
David, they got back to Lisa in 1 week, she said.
Wow. Good.
Yeah.
Good. And what'd they say? Lisa?
Yeah, Lisa. So how
was
what
they say?
I'm sure her fingers are there. They're typing pretty well. The main thing is, Lisa, David's gone through a little bit of this before. I know you've been there. They had a lien 7 years back. So it isn't so much, Lisa, that they got back to you in 1 week. They must have been getting back to you for 7 years. So correcting the status on something that happened 7 years ago.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. The problem is they never properly notice people. They have to notice them of an audit. There has to be a verified audit before they can place a lien. They never do any of that very well, according to due process. They don't. They fail at it every single time I've ever seen. There's a failure in due process. Okay, now the lien, if it's 7 years old, it's uncollectible. It really just passes statute of limitations. Okay? They always say it doesn't, that they can renew it for up to another 10 years. Well, that's a lie. I've called them on it, and they've removed liens. So, they speak in forked tongue a lot. And they use the same technique that all government agents, right down to the police, use. Lies, untruths, fear, coercion, then kidnapping. They escalate their crime. Early this morning, about 7 o'clock, I got a phone call, and I started rattling off on this one person who's been having problems with law for about 110 days so far. And I started rattling off as having known the story, all the crimes that they have committed in the 110 days. And there are various people involved in this, right from the police to transporters to court clerks to district attorneys to judges, right on through, right to the jail. I've counted over 150 crimes, felonies that they've committed, trying to get an innocent woman on a felony charge. They haven't done it. We got a woman that's been in prison now for 5 months, whose only crime was throwing a cigarette butt out the window into a swamp. No danger of starting a fire when it lands in the water. And that was her crime. She hasn't even had an arraignment. She hasn't had a trial. She hasn't had any due process of law. They sit there and sit there and sit there and sit there until finally the DA thinks they've had enough. Then they'll haul you into a room, and then they'll scare the crap out of you with how much time you could have, and then they'll throw a plea deal in front of you that's highly reduced, and you'll do anything. You'll sign your guilt away, pay your fines, so you can go home. And you're considered guilty. You were innocent in the first place. There was no victim. There was no crime. Now, nobody likes a litter bug. I don't either. But did she kill anybody? Did she rape anybody? Did she beat anyone up? Did she financially steal from anyone? No, she didn't. That little tiny offense, God can be the judge. It's up to him to punish her for that, not the state. Another thing, if the state of Texas, Louisiana, Wisconsin, Florida brings a case against you, there's no crime. They can't be the plaintiff, but they are every day. They do it every day.
David, and
So
is that
on.
when they do that, is that through the process of subrogation? So are there, because what I understand is in insurance, there's something called subrogation where one party substitutes themselves for another party. So for example, when you get hit, somebody will come in and say, I'm the insurance company and I'm that other party.